Okay. So, dear professors, you see, I don't want to be so rigid, right? Now, when it comes to classifying businesses, specifically some of the businesses around us, the theories do not really apply because, like, sometimes we read their theories and in applying them, you see some differences. So you might be asking yourself, so some of these government organizations that are providing goods or services, are they not making profit? And should we call them business organizations? And if I want to be specific, some like the Electricity Company of Ghana, Ghana Water Company. In fact, these organizations. So my question to you is, do they belong to the category of business organizations or they are non-business organizations? So there's an assignment I want you to ponder over and we'll discuss about it. So Electricity Company of Ghana and Ghana Water Company, are they business organizations or non-business organizations? I think we'll make it a debate form. Those who are for would express their point, and those who are against would express their point. Okay, please, is that okay? Or did you get my assignment, if I should say?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So we'll do that in our next class. But let's continue. So now we want to state the various forms of business ownership that we may have. Now, the classification or the categorizations can be based on several factors, right? But I'll just go strictly according to how the syllabus wants us to look at this. So the first form of business organization we'll look at is called the sole proprietorship. Okay. The second one is partnership. The third one is companies. Okay. So we'll pick these three forms. As we move on, we'll add additional. Okay. So these are the major forms of business ownerships that we'll be discussing. So we'll pick the sole proprietorship, look at what it is, the features, advantages, and disadvantages. We'll pick partnership, do same, pick companies, and do same. So without wasting my time, let's pick the sole proprietorship. The sole proprietorship. So if we go through this one, I would expect you to label or specifically link these examples you gave me to the sole proprietorship if it cuts the features. Sole proprietorship. Now, sole proprietorship. Sole means one, right? Sole means one. So sole proprietorship. What comes to mind, dear professors? Okay, I think I'll call Prophecy on this one. Sole proprietorship. Prophecy, no idea, which I hardly accept. There is an idea, so tell me something. Okay. Prof. Dameki, can I hear you on this one?
Sole proprietorship. I understand it to be a business organization that is owned and financed by one person.
Okay. Great. Prophecy, you want to add?
Please come again. Your line was breaking at my end.
Okay, is it for me or for Sandra? So, Professor, I wanted you to share your thoughts on a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship.
Okay, so please, sole proprietorship. What I know about sole proprietorship is that it's a form of business that is formed, owned, and financed by one person, and the person takes all the decisions in the business. And the person
Okay.
gets all the profit, and the person bears all the loss.
Okay. Okay. So I think no need to waste time about it. A sole proprietorship is a form of business entity that is owned that is owned, financed, and controlled or managed by one individual. So the emphasis is on the fact that it is by one individual, one person, a single person. So this single person is in charge of providing finance for the business. Okay, he or she owns it alone. He or she does the management and controlling of the business. As a matter of fact, when it comes to ownership, policy making, whatever it is this person who does it. In fact, in Ghana, they even double up to be the employees themselves. But of course, there are some sole proprietorship that have workers. Okay, but the workers are not owners, right? So the owner of a sole proprietorship business is just one person. It can be a male or female. That's the main unique feature of this type of business organization. So like Professor added, they take decisions alone or by themselves. They enjoy all the profit by themselves. They take all the risk. If it is losses, they take all the risk. They can't share the loss with anybody. Okay, so let's look at some of the features, the major features of a sole proprietorship. So there's one person who controls, manages this firm is sometimes referred to as a sole proprietor. A sole proprietor. Okay, so let's list some of the features which I think we already know, but to put it in better shape, I think I'll call Prof. Cyril to give us the first one. Features of a sole proprietorship. From the definition, you should be able to tell what features this form of business organization has. So Prof. Cyril, if you can tell us one.
Sir, please, all risks are shared alone.
Okay, so one. So the owner bears the risk alone, if I want to put it in a right context, okay? So the owner bears the risks or losses alone. So he doesn't share the losses with anybody. So I think you know a lot of these businesses in your communities, from the kiosk businesses, okay, to the containers, and most of the supermarkets are owned by just one person. Okay, so they cut for this type of business ownership. So the owner bears the risk and losses alone. What again? So we can also say that it is owned by one person. So it is owned, this type of business is owned and controlled by one individual. Now, like I said, the workers or the employees do not add to the ownership. So don't be confused if you see a type of business organization being referred to as a sole proprietorship, but you see many people working there. Those are workers or employees, right? The main basis why it is a sole proprietorship is because it is owned. It is owned by one person. It is financed by that person, managed and controlled by that person. The management and control here has to do with seeing to the running of the business, right? But that business may also have several workers. So most of the chop bars, the local chop bars, are owned by single person. But when you go there, they have a lot of workers. Some are doing cleaning, some are pounding, etc. Okay. Now, there are some unique characteristics I have to state and explain to you, right? Okay, so let me also add that finances are provided by the owner. Okay, great. Mainly by the owner. Okay. The next one, which is technical and I have to explain to you, is that the business is not a separate legal entity from its owner. Now, let me explain this point. Now, in the world of business, some of the businesses are really separate from their owners. Let me pick it on from the perspective of financial accounting. In financial accounting, we see businesses to be separate from their owners. So, for example, if I own a bookshop, right, the bookshop should be seen separate from me, Mr. Amu. Okay, so that is how come you appreciate if the owner takes anything away from the business, we refer to that as drawings and we record it because we want to separate the owner's activities or transaction from that of the business. Okay, but when it comes to a sole proprietorship, the owner is virtually seen as the business. Now, this is due to the fact that when there are legal issues, you cannot sue the business as a separate individual. You would have to sue the owner. So most of the one man, now these businesses are also referred to as one man business. Okay, it becomes difficult to separate the business from the owner, and it is one of the unique features of this type of business we have. Okay, so the business is not separate from its owner legally, right? So if you, for instance, if I have a chop bar and you come and eat fufu and maybe you saw something untoward and you want to sue me, you can't sue the chop bar, right? It is me, Ebenezer Yawamwa, who would appear there as the chop bar, if I'm to put it. So it becomes difficult to separate the owner from the business. Unlike certain types of businesses, right? MTN Ghana, for instance, the owners are separate from MTN Ghana. So you can sue MTN Ghana. And it is the lawyers of MTN who are going to represent MTN in the court. Okay. The next one is that the business has no perpetual existence or succession. Okay. So there is lack of perpetual succession. What this simply means is that if the owner dies, the business suffers, or the business may also die because there's nobody there to continue the business. And this is one of the major problems with sole proprietorship. So it lacks that perpetual succession. Okay. The next one is final decisions are made by the owner. Okay. I think this is okay. I think as we move on, you may get a lot of these characteristics. So let me end it here. Okay. So these are few features or characteristics of sole proprietorship. You can add on a lot from your textbooks, or maybe you read wide online. So we say that the owner bears the risk alone, or he bears risk losses alone. Again, okay, the owner enjoys the profits alone. It's also one feature of it. He enjoys the profit alone, he bears the losses alone. Final decision is taken by the owner. The business is not legally separate from its owner, and finances are provided mainly by the owner. Okay, now let's look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of a sole proprietorship. And this one, we are going to do it ladies and gentlemen kind of battle. So the ladies will give me one, the gentleman gives me the next, in that order. What do you think are some of the advantages of operating a one-man business? And freely share your mind on this one. So let's pick the advantages first. Advantages of sole proprietorship. So the ladies, I'm taking the first one from you. What advantage do you have if you are operating a business alone or as an individual? I don't know if I should give you more context to help you appreciate. So imagine, Mr. Amwa, I own a shoe shop. I sell my shoes and I do everything alone. Though I have workers, but when it comes to ownership, management, taking the major decisions, it's me alone. What are some of the benefits I'll get, or enjoyment, or advantages? Yes, ladies.
Quicker decision making.
Exactly. So decision making is quick. Decision making is quick or faster. Okay, or faster. Because I'm one person, I don't have to be debating with anybody. I take the decision and I move on. Thank you very much. Prof. Cyril, what other benefits or advantage can we talk of? Please don't say the ladies have said it.
Sir, please, the profit is shared alone.
Okay, so I think since it's one person, there will be no sharing. So like you said, the owner enjoys the profit alone, and that is an advantage. So profits are enjoyed alone by the owner, and that's an advantage, right? Because if you, for example, if you made a profit of 5,000 and you have to share it with somebody because the person is also a co-owner, compared to is you alone, well, the you alone is better, right? You enjoy the profit alone, so that's an advantage. Yes, the ladies, it's now on you.
Please, it doesn't require complex formal procedures when you want to start up the business.
Okay, that's very true. As a matter of fact, the sole proprietorship is, let me say, one of the basic form of business ownership you can ever have in this life, right? And it doesn't require any rigorous legal formalities. So like Professor puts it, it's easy to form, right? So it's easy to form and does not require does not require major legal formalities. Again, does not require huge capital to start this kind of business. Okay, with the little monies you have, whether from your savings or from a small loan you had, you can start such a business. So it doesn't require huge capital. So doesn't require huge capital. Some people even start such a business with 50 cedis. You can't start certain types of organizations with 50 Ghana cedis. But for sole proprietorship, you can do it, right? Okay. Fifth one, I think I'll add this one. There's also some high level of secrecy, right? Because you are doing it alone. Nobody is asking you, why did you do this? Why? So there's high level of secrecy and independence, right? Great. So these are some of the advantages we can speak about. Let's talk about the disadvantages. Disadvantages of this type of business ownership. So my professors, I believe you can do this for me too. What are some of the disadvantages or demerits of having or operating this type of business? Yes. Whoever is ready can tell.
No, the
Lack of what?
Please, all losses are borne by the owner of the business.
Okay, so all losses are borne by the owner alone. Prof. Dameki, can you take yours again?
This lack of continuity.
So lack of continuity when the owner dies or is incapacitated. So let me just put it there. Maybe when you're explaining, you add a point. So lack of continuity here means that in case something happens to the owner, the management and control of the business becomes difficult. And most of the times, such businesses die when their owner also dies. Okay, or when the owner dies, I should say. Okay, then I would also add one we call unlimited liability, and that goes with all losses are borne by the owner. Unlimited liability here means that if something should happen and this business is shut down, so let's say, for example, I own a shoe shop. I'm doing this business alone, and then there's a fire outbreak. I owe people. The people who I take the shoes from, that's my suppliers. I owe them. I haven't paid. I went for a bank loan. I haven't paid. If something happens to this shoe shop, like I said, fire, everything destroyed. How do I pay the bank? How do I pay the shoe suppliers? In fact, these people can prey on my private property. So if I have a car, they can sell it to settle it. If I have a building, they can sell it. So unlimited liability here means that if anything happens to the business, the owner's private assets will be used to settle all debt. Okay. There are some types of business organizations that cannot happen. The owner's private properties are secured. And we'll look at these types of organizations as we move on. So when you see unlimited liability, it means that the owner's private properties or resources can be used to settle liabilities of the business or debt of the business. Okay, great. So that's also another disadvantage of doing business alone. Okay, I think we want to add the last one. Okay, sometimes to expansion problems due to lack of capital is one disadvantage of this type of business. You are doing business alone, your money or your resources may not be enough to expand your business, even though maybe sometimes it has become necessary to expand it. Okay, so there's expansion problem because of low capital pool. Okay, great. I think I'll end the disadvantages here. If you read on, you can maybe I'll add the last one. The last one is, as we say, 2 good hairs are better than 1. Since you are taking decision alone, there's a tendency or the possibility of bad decisions because you are doing it alone. So possibility of bad, or let me qualify it, ineffective, or let me say hasty decision. So since you are taking the decisions alone, you can make that mistake of having a bad decision. Okay. Because 2 good hairs are better than 1. Sometimes when you discuss with someone, you get a better perspective from your own perspective. So possibility of ineffective, hasty, or bad decision. Great. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of a sole proprietorship. I think that I'll pause here. If there are questions, my professors can ask me questions before we move on. No questions? Okay, if there are no questions, I think that I've already given you one reading assignment, or that's a debate assignment. Hello, can my professors hear me? Hello. Professors, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So if there are questions, you can ask and we judge all. Okay, so let me quickly summarize what we've done today. Today we saw the various forms of business organization as our main topic. And we realized that we have to define a business organization and then state the various forms of business organization, pick them one by one, and look at how they are set up, their features, advantages, and disadvantages. So we defined a business or a business organization as an entity that is set up to provide goods and services with the main motive of making profit for the owners or members, right? That's a business organization. We listed some of them: MTN Ghana, StanChart, Rainin Supermarket, etc. Now, went on to look at the major forms of business organizations, that sole proprietorship, partnership, and companies. We picked on the sole proprietorship, and we saw this to be a form of business organization that is set up or that is owned, managed, and controlled by one individual or one person. So he does all the decision taking, formulates all the policies, the goals, objectives of the organization. So we saw that as part of that, he bears the risk alone, or she bears the risk alone. He or she also enjoys the profit alone. The business is not legally separate from the owner, right? The identity of the business is not legally separate from the owner. It becomes difficult to separate the business from its owner. We saw some of the benefits and the demerit or disadvantages associated with this organization. So I guess in our next discussion, we'll be looking at the partnership, how it is set up, its features, advantages and disadvantages, I should say, and also pick up the companies and do same to it. Then maybe after that, we'll look at other forms of organizations that are worth looking at. So if there are no questions, professors, I think I'll end here. And we'll continue our discussion next when we meet. Thank you.